Fortnite Season 8 is finally here, and man, is there an incredible amount of secrets that most players haven't realized. From what seems to be the Siren Head in Fortnite that could be coming later this season, to a secret Carnage Mythic, let's start off with a secret that's sure to blow you away, the Secret Queen skin. Okay, so if you've been loving this season's Battle Pass, you might be especially excited for the upcoming secret skin. And ever since we got Deadpool in Season 2, every single secret skin has been a crossover and has been revealed on day 1 of the season. It was kind of annoying, especially when you had crossover skins in the Battle Pass as well. Kind of felt like original skins were just fading away. But luckily, Season 8 has broken the trend and we'll be getting a secret original storyline skin near the end of Season 8. While everyone's been getting excited for it, nobody has actually realized that there is more to this outline than meets the eye. I mean, it's been so long since we had a secret skin that was actually secret, so people forgotten that we could do more than just stare at it. Some clever fans have taken this outline of the skin and actually brightened up the image, and wow, you can see a lot more. I mean, immediately you can spot that she seems to have a crown floating around her head, and it looks like she could possibly be wearing armor made of cube material. And so with that in mind, it could confirm that this skin will actually be the Queen, who's rumored to be controlling the cubes and will play a big part in Chapter 3. Kinda nuts, but with that aside, most of Season 8's coolest secrets are actually in-game, and it starts with the katana trick. So if you've been grinding out the Battle Pass already and have gotten to page 2, you've probably unlocked the Hand Forge emote. And this is a pretty cool looking emote, but at its surface, that's really all it is. As it turns out though, this thing has way more to it than just being yet another emote. More and more recently, Epic Games have been adding more features to Battle Pass skins. In the last few seasons, almost every single skin has had their own built-in emote or some kind of transformation or ability. And it looks like they're now doing the same thing, but for the standalone emotes in the Battle Pass. If you actually use the Hand Forge emote in-game, you might have noticed that it actually changes your pickaxe into the Demon Slayer blade. And that's until you use the emote again and you can just switch back to your previous pickaxe. I mean, how cool is that? Like, this is just the start of what is probably going to be much more pickaxe emotes. Maybe we'll even see transformations that let you change your wrap mid-game. But for now, we have probably the most useful secret on the entire Season 8 map, and that's the blue cube tip. So by now, you probably noticed that there are more than just Kevins on the island. Of course, we've got the golden cube from the event over at Holly Hedges, and then if you head just north of Camp Cod, you'll be able to find Blevin, which is the blue cube that we rebooted during the live event. And while this is an awesome secret in itself, Blevin has a lot more to him than he looks. While other cubes are just easy to bounce off and are great for mobility, Blevin is probably the most useful thing on the entire map. Now that Slurpy Swamps has been drained of its powers, it looks like Epic has actually given us an alternative, which is Blevin himself. That's right, if you actually start pickaxing or jumping on this cube, you can get up to full shields in under 10 seconds. This makes Camp Cod an extremely viable drop spot once again, and is one of the most overpowered things that almost nobody's talking about. While we're speaking about secret cubes, this one is not as interesting as the Believer Beach Kevin. If you go over to Believer Beach, you'll probably know that there's a Kevin crash site just south of the POI, and of course, like every crash site, this place has its own cube there. But this is probably the one cube to watch right now, because just last night, this thing woke up and actually started moving. Now, it was just one movement, and it stayed still pretty much the rest of the day. I mean, everyone thought it was just a cool tease by Epic, and that was it. But then, just today, people spotted that this exact cube had got up and started moving again. Season 8 has been live for not even 2 days yet, and we already have Kevin's getting up and moving around the map. I mean, this could already be a build-up to a live event, so that would make this season really exciting. I wonder where this rogue cube is heading to. I mean, there are two options. He's either heading straight for Believer Beach in order to infect the waters, or he could be going towards the golden cube at Holly Hedges. It's kind of just a matter of waiting, but now you know about the secret cube, so you can keep an eye on it too. And it's not the only POI that no one's talking about, because we have the secret base we gotta go over. Since Season 1, we've had an unnamed POI in the map northwest of Steamy Stacks. It's the one on the hill overlooking the area, and it belongs to the radio station on the map. But while this building has had its fair share of Easter eggs over the years, including being home to the teddy bears, Season 8 has given it an even weirder secret. In the FN radio building, you can go into a recording studio, which has a secret base inside of it, and if you go further, you'll find another secret base, which has a bookshelf that leads to, well, another secret base. I don't, my brain hurts. But it's gonna hurt more when you realize that all of this just leads to a filing cabinet. Yeah, for some reason, there are two 24-hour CCTV cameras just watching this single filing cabinet. Now, some people have been speculating that this is a reference to the game control, and others think it might just be Epic joking around that this filing cabinet is probably like haunted or something. But when it comes down to it, Season 8 has way more useful secrets like the Reboot Van update. One of the coolest parts about the new season is that Epic has finally addressed a big problem with one of Fortnite's most useful features, and that's the Reboot Van. vans. There's been something missing with the vans for all of Chapter 2, and no one's really been able to put their finger on it. But now with Season 8, Epic has made some huge changes to the reboot system that almost no one's even noticed. For starters, you might have thought that the reboot cards themselves just felt different and couldn't figure out why. And that's because they've actually been changed. Now you have up to 4 entire minutes to get your teammate's reboot card, and you don't have to wait a few seconds to pick it up either, because you could just walk over it or simply hit the pickup button. It's so much easier. And as for the reboot vans themselves, Fortnite has actually added more of them spread around the map. You can find vans even in unnamed POIs now, so it is so much easier to revive your teammate. But there was one thing everyone was talking about in the Season 8 Battle Pass trailer, and it wasn't even the skins, it was Siren Head. Now I say Siren Head because that's what literally everyone is calling this thing, but basically in the Battle Pass trailer you could actually see something extremely ominous in the fog during one of the scenes. And immediately a lot of people saw this thing and screamed that it was Siren Head, a creepy character from a super famous creepypasta. But unfortunately, when you look closer, you can see that this actually isn't Siren Head, especially comparing side by side. But to be honest, we don't actually know what we're looking at here. I mean, is this going to be some kind of new boss that arrives later in the season? I do actually have my own personal theory that not a single person has brought up, and that is, if you remember last season, we had an insider who leaked the Ariana Grande concert, the Justice League skins, and they even leaked the Sideways. But more importantly, nobody's talking about how he leaked upcoming rideable monsters and, wait for it, the mechs. So what we're looking at here in this trailer could actually be a rideable monster or a mech suit that comes out later in the season. Might have cracked the secret after all. And speaking of the Sideways, Season 8 actually has a secret feature that lets you upgrade to a mythic. Yeah, if you've been playing the new Sideways feature and picking up all the new special weapons that come with it, you probably learned how to upgrade these Sideways guns with the cube monster parts. But a cool secret is that for the first time in Fortnite history, you can now craft weapons into a mythic version. If you gather enough cube monster parts, you can cycle your gun all the way up to legendary and then top it off by making it into a mythic. It's an awesome secret that's going to change the meta for a long time. But for all you Easter egg hunters, you'll know that everything started back in Chapter 1 from a few mysterious bunkers. I mean, these things were the OG Easter eggs, which is why people are going crazy over the new bunker. In the last few seasons of Fortnite, bunkers have been appearing less and less, and it seemed like Epic has stopped adding them or caring about them, going for different types of Easter eggs instead. Well, it seemed that way until Season 8 came along, because now if you go to Pleasant Park, you could actually see that a piece of the mothership crashed into a mountain, and this has actually revealed a long-lost bunker entrance that had been in the hill the entire time. And so if you've read the 0 Point comics, they actually reveal that the whole time these bunkers were ancient entrances into the Imagined Order's headquarters. And nowadays they just rift around, but it seemed that these bunkers are so ancient that entire mountains have grown over them. Kinda crazy, but not as useful as the Dr. Sloane secret. Ever since Dr. Sloane betrayed us all in the live event and left us to die, that was the last we heard of her. But since then, all of Season 8 has happened, and a lot of people are wondering, where is Sloane? And it turns out that the answer to that question is in front of our very eyes. No one's talking about what happens if you head to the bridge just east of Corny Crops. At the end of this bridge, you'll find a small IO camp, and get even closer, you'll find Dr. Sloane herself. She's still on the island doing dirty work, and she's surrounded by her bodyguards. And as usual, she's pretty tough to beat, but in Season 8, she actually has a new reward for defeating her. If you take out Sloane, she will now drop a mythic burst assault rifle. She used to only drop a pulse rifle in Season 7, but not anymore. She's actually worth hunting down now. And if we're speaking of things from old seasons getting updated, then we have to talk about the boar update. While everyone has been distracted with the new crow wildlife that is flying around the map right now, no one's realized that Epic has actually made some huge changes to the way that boars work. In the past, they've just roamed around, chased any prey they could find, and attacked anyone who got too close to them. They were pretty simple. But it seems that Epic weren't really happy with this, because with Season 8, they have changed the behavior of the boars. Yeah, instead of just walking around now, they actually have a chance of digging into the ground and discovering loot. And that's not even the most mind-blowing secret this season, because you're gonna gasp when you hear about the reinforced trap. A lot of Season 8 secrets are awesome, but there's one thing that isn't even in game yet that most of the community have overlooked. While we were all distracted by all the new additions, leakers are posting one of the coolest and probably the most controversial looking items that Fortnite might ever see. Now, we haven't had traps in Fortnite for years, but it looks like we're actually about to get a new one. And this isn't going to be some kind of spike trap or electric wall. No, this is actually going to reinforce walls, Rainbow Six Siege style. Whenever this comes out, this will probably split the community in half. I'm guessing a lot of people will absolutely hate this, and others will love being able to actually defend their builds for once. But for something else that could be even more overpowered, we have the return of Bud the Mushroom. Okay, this guy was a super exclusive feature that was only in Fortnite for a single day all the way back in Season 3. You could find him in the forest, you would feed him wood, and dance in front of him to activate his abilities. abilities, and then he'd follow you around and actually constantly heal you. It seemed a bit OP for the time he was in game, and we haven't seen him since Season 3. And that is until now, because according to many people, Bud the Mushroom has been spotted in Season 8. Now, we looked everywhere, and we haven't been able to find him for ourselves, but that just shows how rare he probably is. It's an awesome secret to look out for. But for lore lovers, you'll be interested to hear about the Believer Beach Party. Okay, if you remember last season, Sweaty Sands was turned into Believer Beach, a hotspot for alien sympathizers and people who celebrated the arrival of the mothership. They had like a whole welcoming party and everything, but since the whole mothership crashed and all, there has been nowhere for these alien lovers to go, or so we thought. That's because if you go to the area near Steamy Stacks, you could actually find all the alien-themed crash pads at a campsite. And you might be asking, well, why here? Well, it looks like that the alien lovers might have moved here because just over the hill, there's a single lone house on it that actually has the alien nanite field surrounding it. And inside this house is a Chimera NPC, which means this is one of the only aliens left on the whole map. Yet another awesome Easter egg that shows the attention to detail in Season 8. But not all things were awesome additions because unfortunately, the Ferrari was vaulted. One of probably the saddest things about Season 8 isn't even the removal of the mothership or the aliens. I mean, there's just one thing that we're all gonna miss from Season 7, and that is the Ferraris. I know, sadly, they've been completely removed from the map, never to be seen again. I mean, sure, they've been replaced with the Whiplashes now, but let's be honest, we're all gonna miss cruising around in a freaking Ferrari. I really do hope Epic adds more cars in the future because it was probably one of the best collabs of last season. And for a quick honorable mention, we have the new Carnage Mythic, which actually has gameplay already leaked. And there's also gonna be the Venom Mythic, which I'm not sure if it'll be the same as Season 4's version, but there's also that to look forward to. And that is all the secrets and Easter eggs of the new Season 8 update. Thanks so much for watching, guys. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.